Microsoft just slapped an entertainment purposes only disclaimer on Copilot, their flagship AI assistant that millions use for work, research, and critical decisions. But here's what nobody is talking about. This isn't about protecting users from bad AI advice. This is Microsoft building a legal fortress while they train their AI on your conversations, and the timing tells us everything about where this technology is actually heading. Think of Microsoft's disclaimer like Big Pharma's off-label use strategy. Pharmaceutical companies legally market drugs for narrow, approved conditions while knowing doctors prescribe them for everything else. Viagra was developed for heart disease, but became a billion-dollar erectile dysfunction empire. Microsoft's entertainment-only disclaimer mirrors this perfectly. Legally constrain liability to the smallest use case, while capturing value from all actual applications. Both industries profit from systematic wink-and-nod deployment beyond stated purposes, using regulatory loopholes to monetize unacknowledged capabilities while dodging accountability for predictable misuse. Let me show you the real game Microsoft plays here. Microsoft has pumped over $13 billion into OpenAI. They've integrated AI into Windows, Office, and Azure. They're positioning themselves as the infrastructure provider for the AI revolution. But now they're telling us it's just for fun. That's like Boeing saying their 737 MAX is for entertainment purposes only after building their entire commercial aviation strategy around it. The disclaimer serves three purposes, and none of them have anything to do with protecting you from hallucinations or wrong answers. First, it's a legal shield. When Copilot confidently tells someone to invest their retirement savings in a cryptocurrency scam or provides medical advice that kills someone, Microsoft can point to that disclaimer and walk away clean. Second, it's data collection cover. Every conversation you have with Copilot feeds their training algorithms. The disclaimer makes you a volunteer test subject instead of a customer with rights. Third, it's competitive positioning. While everyone else fights over liability for AI mistakes, Microsoft gets to iterate faster because they've legally declared their product a toy. Look at the historical pattern. When the internet was young, tech companies used beta labels to avoid responsibility while building monopolistic platforms. Gmail stayed in beta for 5 years, while Google used it to revolutionize email and advertising. Facebook called itself a college directory while harvesting data that would reshape global politics. Now we have AI companies calling themselves entertainment while building the infrastructure that will determine who controls the next century of human productivity. The timing matters critically here. This disclaimer appears just as AI capabilities explode exponentially. GPT-4 can pass the bar exam. Claude can write publication-quality research papers. Copilot can generate complex code and business strategies. But the moment these systems become genuinely useful, Microsoft retreats behind legal disclaimers. That's not coincidence. That's strategy. The entertainment disclaimer also reveals something crucial about the current state of AI development. These systems are simultaneously more capable and more unreliable than anyone admits publicly. They can perform tasks that seemed impossible 5 years ago, but they fail in ways that are unpredictable and sometimes catastrophic. Microsoft knows this. The disclaimer isn't about current limitations, it's about future liability. But here's the strongest counter-argument to my position. Maybe Microsoft is actually being responsible here. Maybe they recognize that AI systems are genuinely unpredictable and dangerous, and the disclaimer is an honest attempt to prevent people from relying too heavily on flawed technology. Maybe this is corporate responsibility, not corporate cynicism. This argument falls apart under scrutiny. If Microsoft genuinely believed Copilot was too unreliable for serious use, they wouldn't integrate it into Office 365 for enterprise customers paying premium subscriptions. They wouldn't market it as a productivity revolution. They wouldn't position it as the future of work. You don't spend billions building infrastructure for entertainment. The disclaimer contradicts everything else Microsoft does with AI. It's legal theater, not genuine caution. Moreover, the entertainment-only framing is specifically designed to minimize perceived risk while maximizing actual usage. It encourages experimentation without creating expectations of reliability. That's not responsible development. That's having your cake and eating it too. Here's my verdict. Microsoft's disclaimer is a masterclass in strategic ambiguity. They want AI capabilities without AI responsibility. They want to be the infrastructure provider for the revolution while legally pretending they're just making toys. This isn't about protecting users. It's about protecting Microsoft's position in the AI arms race while the technology races toward superintelligence. The real question isn't whether Copilot is for entertainment. The real question is whether we're willing to let tech companies disclaim their way out of responsibility while building systems that will reshape human civilization. Because once these systems pass the threshold where they're genuinely smarter than humans, disclaimers won't matter anymore. The future belongs to whoever controls the smartest AI. Microsoft knows this. The disclaimer is just their way of controlling that future without accepting responsibility for it.